Imagine losing everything you love and being treated with indifference in your most difficult moments. For Dona Lourdes, this was a sad reality, until an unexpected encounter with Sergio, a man marked by his own losses, changed everything. On that cold and gray afternoon, the city streets were deserted. Dona Lourdes, a 72-year-old woman, walked slowly with her worn clothes and an old scarf on her head. Her hands tightly held a plastic bag with her few belongings. When she saw a small bakery on the corner, she decided to go in to get away from the cold wind and try to get something to eat. As she entered, Dona Lourdes felt the warmth of the place and the good smell of fresh bread. She looked around and saw that all the tables were occupied. Some people looked at her with discomfort, as if her presence was a bother. Even so, Dona Lourdes approached the counter with timid steps. The attendant, a young and hurried man, barely looked at her before asking, "Are you going to order something, ma'am?" Dona Lourdes, with a soft and unsure voice, replied, "Would like a coffee, please." She counted the few coins she had in her hand, hoping they would be enough. The attendant looked at the coins and, with a mocking smile, said, "This isn't enough for even half a coffee, ma'am." Lourdes felt her face burn with shame. She didn't know what to say, so she just stood there, feeling smaller with each passing second. At that moment, a man named Sergio, who was sitting at one of the nearby tables, got up and went to the counter. Sergio was a 55-year-old man, wearing a simple coat and carrying a gentle expression. He had been observing the situation since Dona Lourdes entered. Without hesitation, Sergio took some bills from his pocket and placed them on the counter. "I'll pay for her coffee. And you can add a cheese bread," he said calmly. The attendant, feeling awkward, took the money and quickly prepared the order. Sergio guided Dona Lourdes to a table near the window. "Don't worry about what he said," Sergio said, trying to comfort her. "Everyone deserves a little kindness." Dona Lourdes, still surprised, smiled and replied, "Thank you very much. I didn't expect anyone to care." While she drank her coffee, Sergio noticed a small medallion around her neck. It was simple, but it seemed special. Something about that pendant caught his attention, like a distant memory. To lighten the heavy atmosphere, Sergio started a conversation. "That necklace looks important to you. Does it have a story?" Lourdes held the pendant fondly and, with tears in her eyes, began to tell, "It was a gift from my daughter, Luisa. She gave it to me when she graduated from school. It was a very happy moment for us, but she passed away a few years ago." Dona Lourdes paused, wiping her eyes. "After I lost my husband, things got tough. I lost my house and ended up on the street. This necklace is all I have left of my daughter." Sergio listened attentively, feeling a lump in his throat. He knew what it was like to lose someone dear, as he had gone through it too. "I'm so sorry for your loss," he said sincerely. "I lost my wife a few years ago too. We're never prepared for these things, right? But somehow, life goes on." The two continued talking, sharing stories of their lives, and Sergio felt a connection with Dona Lourdes. He thought about how he could help more. After a brief silence, he gathered his courage and said, "Look, Dona Lourdes, I live alone. I have a spare room, and you can stay there as long as you need. It's nothing fancy, but it's a warm and safe place." Dona Lourdes was surprised by the generous offer. She never imagined that someone she had just met would do such a kind gesture. With tears in her eyes, she responded, "Sergio, I don't even know how to thank you. Life has been so hard. I accept, and I promise I won't be a burden to you." Sergio smiled and nodded. "Don't worry about that. Life is easier when you have company." In the days that followed, Dona Lourdes moved into Sergio's house. He helped her with new clothes and made sure she had everything she needed. Little by little, Sergio's house, which had been quiet and empty, filled with life through the conversations and laughter of Dona Lourdes. They began to share meals and memories, creating a friendship that filled the emptiness they both felt. Sergio, who had lived alone and focused on work for so long, found a new purpose in helping Dona Lourdes. And she, who had lost so much, found in Sergio a friend and a reason to smile again. The pain of their losses didn't disappear, but together, Dona Lourdes and Sergio discovered that it's possible to find comfort and hope, even in the hardest times. The kindness of a stranger changed their lives forever, proving that even when everything seems lost, there's still room for kindness and new beginnings.